Hey everyone, and welcome to the Action Hero Podcast. I'm Adrian,
I'm Julia.
and we are absolutely pumped for today's story.
Oh yeah, this one's a real gem.
It's got everything we love, action, suspense, and a hero you can't help but root for.
Absolutely. It's one of those stories that just grabs you from the first page and doesn't let go.
So picture this a street magician, but not your typical rabbit out of a hat kind of guy.
Right. This is something else entirely.
Yeah, this guy, he's like bending fate with his card tricks.
Less cheesy magic, more like a master of luck and probability.
Exactly. And his stage. It's the gritty streets of a neighborhood that's seen better days.
A place where danger is always lurking around the corner.
Oh yeah, you can practically feel the tension in the air.
It's the perfect setting for this kind of story.
Definitely. And our hero, he fits right in.
He's not your typical muscle-bound tough guy.
Nope, he's more like the ultimate everyman hero.
Exactly, just a regular person who uses his wits and skill to overcome challenges.
It's something we can all relate to, in a way.
Absolutely. Maybe not with card tricks, but with the things we're good at.
Right, the talents we use to navigate our own streets and overcome obstacles in our lives.
It's like the story is saying you don't need superpowers to be a hero.
You just need to use what you've got to the best of your ability.
And this guy, he's definitely got skills.
So the plot kicks off when our street magician finds himself up against a ruthless syndicate.
These guys are bad news. They're moving in on his turf and they're not playing around.
Yeah, and that's where the guile hero trope really comes into play.
He's not going to win this fight with brute strength.
He's got to outsmart them.
It's like a chess match, but with carefully planned tricks and a whole lot of audacity.
You said it. It's all about strategy and using your strengths to your advantage.
And there's this rags to riches element woven in too, but it's not about money.
Right. He's not after wealth.
It's something far more valuable: respect.
He starts as this small-time street performer,
But through his actions, he earns the respect and admiration of his community.
proving himself not through wealth, but through courage.
By standing up for what's right.
That's where the story expands beyond just one man versus a syndicate.
It becomes about the entire community rallying behind him.
A powerful La Resistance narrative.
Exactly. It's inspiring to see how they all come together to face this common enemy.
It shows that even in the face of overwhelming odds, people can find strength and unity.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we're not alone in our struggles.
And that by working together, we can overcome challenges that seem insurmountable.
Now, things get really interesting when the magician's younger sister, Sophie, enters the picture.
At first, it seems like she's a classic damsel in distress.
A very common trope in action stories.
But then, bam, the author hits us with a bait and switch.
You think you know what's going on, but then everything changes.
It's like the author is playing with your expectations, keeping you guessing.
And it works brilliantly. It makes you question everything you thought you knew.
What did you think when that happened, Julia?
I was totally caught off guard. It was such a clever twist.
Me too. It shows that Sophie is far from helpless.
In fact, she plays a much more intricate and unexpected role in the story.
It's a reminder not to judge a book by its cover.
Or a character by their initial appearance.
Exactly. You never know what surprises are in store.
And that's what makes this story so captivating.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat, constantly wondering what's going to happen next.
And that's the mark of a truly skilled storyteller.
Someone who can keep you engaged and invested in the characters and their journey.
This author definitely knows how to weave a tale that pulls you in and doesn't let go.
Absolutely. This is one story you won't want to miss.
And it really makes you realize that you should never underestimate anyone.
Right. Appearances can be deceiving.
And the author does a fantastic job of showing how the hero's actions inspire the whole community.
Yeah, it's like a ripple effect.
It goes way beyond just beating the bad guys. It's about inspiring others to believe in themselves.
To stand up for what they believe in.
To realize that they can make a difference.
Our hero becomes a symbol of hope.
Showing everyone that even when things seem dark, there's always someone willing to fight for what's right.
And that's where that La Resistance theme really comes to life.
The community becomes an extension of the hero's will.
Fueled by his courage and their own desire for change.
There's this one scene that I absolutely love.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
The syndicate's boss, this guy they call the Ray King, he's about to pull out his gun. But before he can even react, our hero unleashes this cascade of cards, every single ray in the deck.
Wow.
Pinning him to the wall. It's such a powerful visual.
And so symbolic, too.
It shows that brute force isn't always the answer.
Sometimes wit and strategy are the most effective weapons.
Exactly. You don't need to meet violence with violence.
It's about using your skills in a smart and calculated way.
And that really speaks to the hero's character.
He's not driven by revenge or a lust for power.
He's driven by justice and a desire to protect.
And that makes him even more admirable.
It's a good reminder that true strength comes from using your power responsibly.
And standing up for what you believe in.
And in the end, that's what makes the victory so satisfying.
The bad guys are exposed. Justice prevails.
And our hero, he gets to enjoy the well-deserved respect of his community.
Especially that old mechanic who was so skeptical at first.
Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He's totally won over by the end.
Like a complete transformation.
And you know who else I love in that final scene?
Who's that?
Sophie.
Oh, yeah, the hero's sister.
She's standing there right beside the mechanic with this mischievous grin on her face.
Just like her brother.
It's such a small detail, but it adds so much to the story.
It shows the bond they share.
And their shared sense of defiance.
It's those little touches that make the story feel so real and relatable.
And it reminds us that even in the midst of all the chaos and danger,
the connections we make with others are what really matter.
They give us the strength to keep going.
This story is so much more than just an action-packed thriller.
It's a testament to the power of resilience, cunning, and community.
It's a reminder that even when facing impossible odds, a little bit of magic, a lot of heart, and the support of those around you can make all the difference.
Yeah, it really makes you think about what it means to be a hero.
Right. It's not always about capes and superpowers.
Sometimes it's just about ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
So true. So what do you think, Julia? What is it about this street magician that makes him such a compelling hero?
I think it's his relatability. You know, he's not born with special powers or anything.
Right. He's just a regular guy who's worked hard to develop his skill.
Exactly. He's honed his craft through practice and dedication.
And that makes you think, hey, maybe I could do something amazing too.
Right, if I really put my mind to it.
It's that classic underdog story that we all love.
He's outmatched in terms of brute strength, but he uses his intelligence to even the odds.
It's like David versus Goliath, but with cards instead of a slingshot.
And there's something so satisfying about seeing someone outsmart a more powerful opponent.
Absolutely. It's a battle of wits. And our hero, he's always one step ahead.
It's like watching a master chess player at work.
And then there's that element of surprise.
The way he uses misdirection and illusion to create those moments of wonder.
It's like a magic show, but with real-world stakes.
You're constantly on the edge of your seat wondering what he's going to pull off next.
But it's not just about the tricks themselves.
It's about how he uses them to help others.
Right. It's that sense of responsibility, that willingness to put himself on the line for his community.
That's what elevates him from a skilled trickster to a true hero.
He's fighting for something bigger than himself.
And that selflessness is what makes his journey so inspiring.
It reminds us that heroism isn't always about grand gestures.
Sometimes it's about those small acts of courage, standing up for what you believe in.
Making a positive impact on the world around you.
And this story, it really captures that idea beautifully.
It stays with you long after you finish reading.
It makes you think about your own values and the kind of impact you want to make.
So what kind of hero are we?
What talents and skills can we use to make a difference?
And how can we find that courage to stand up for what's right, even when it's hard?
These are questions we should all be asking ourselves.
This story encourages us to embrace our individuality, to believe in our own abilities.
To never underestimate the power we have to make a difference.
It's a message of hope and empowerment that I think we all need to hear.
Absolutely. And I think we've dealt a winning hand with this discussion.
I agree. Huge thanks to you, Julia, for sharing your insights.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this adventure through Ace Up My Sleeve.
We hope you enjoyed it.
And remember, if you're craving more epic tales of action and heroism, be sure to rate and follow the Action Hero Podcast.
We'll be back soon with another thrilling episode.
Until then, stay awesome